My theme today is, yes, you can choose a happier life. And yes, you can choose to be happier. Yes, you can choose to be healthier. And yes, you can, if you want, choose to be wealthier. I'll touch on each of these as I go along. But before that, there's one idea that I would like you to get really clear in your mind. And it's very important to understand this one principle that's been around for thousands of years, and that is that thoughts are things. Okay, every thought that you think, every word that you speak, every picture that you imagine in your mind produces a result. And the problem, one of the problems that people have, is that they are thinking and talking and focusing on things that they don't want in their lives. You hear people talking about, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be overweight, I don't want a car breaking down, I don't want this miserable relationship, I don't want to be broke, I don't want all these bills. We spend all our time talking about what we don't want. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What you focus on, you get. And I'm going to say that what you focus on is what shows up in your life. What you focus your mind on is what you see showing up. I'm going to prove that. We're going to do a little exercise. I'd like you to just look around the room for a moment and make a note of everything that you see in this room that's green. Okay, let's find all the green. Like we have kind of the green wall. Got some more green over there. Woman with a green sweater. Look around. There's a lot of green in the room, okay? Now I'd like you to close your eyes and recall everything that you saw that was blue. What happened? You can get it. The blue is here. Look around. He's got a blue hat. There's a blue jacket there. There's blue in the flag. There's blue all over the place. But we didn't see it because you were focusing on green. It's the same thing. It's like when you buy a red car. All of a sudden you start seeing red cars. They were always there. We have filters in our brain that keep that from coming in, or else we'd be overwhelmed with everything that's out there coming at us. And it's fascinating because it's a very simple thing. You want to think about what you want. If you want to be healthy, think about health, talk about health, affirm health, see yourself healthy. Don't go to the opposite. A mind does not work on the opposite. If I say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what happens? You'll go right to the pink elephant. The mind does not know the opposite of an idea. In your handout, there's a wonderful quotation that fits right into that from Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was in a concentration camp at Auschwitz and wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning about how he got through all of that. And this is kind of the crux of what he said, is that the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances to choose one's own way. You can choose what goes on in here, in your head. That's about the only thing we really have control over. And sometimes these decisions are thrown at us. Sometimes we have to make choices that can be life-altering, and maybe we weren't ready for it, maybe we didn't plan on it. I had that happen to me a number of years ago. At the time, my life was pretty much at the bottom. My lifestyle and my excesses brought me down. I was living in a single-room occupancy in the South Bronx, not a place you want to live. You know, it was one of these places when you go in the bathroom, you turn the light on, the cockroaches would look back at you and go, yo, turn the light off, you're bothering me. It was very strange. It was really down. I was barely getting by. And I woke up one morning. My head was throbbing because I had been partying too much the night before. That had pretty much become my life. And I opened one eye and I looked out and I saw one of those smiley faces. And I saw that it was on a slipper that was attached to the end of my foot. You know, not quite sure what was going on, coming out of the fog. It took me about a minute, but I figured out I was not in the Four Seasons. And where I was the detox ward of Bailey Seton Hospital in Staten Island, because my life had gone all the way to the bottom and I basically crashed and burned. And I was faced with the choice, did I want to continue this and maybe die, or worse yet, live? Or was I willing to shut my mouth and open my ears and listen to people and take some suggestions and reach out and get the help that's there? We've got more resources in our society, more self-help groups. There are tons of resource people here today for every imaginable problem. But they're not dominoes. They don't deliver. You have to go out and say, hey, I need your help. Can you help me? And I did that, and my life started changing. And little by little, I put it back together, and it's kind of where I got to today. So it's really, what are your choices? What do you want in your life? What do you want your life to be? What do you want your life to become? You know, you've got to dream again. It's a strange thing that as we become adults, we forget how to dream. We all knew how to do that when we were kids. Anybody here with young children, if you say to them, what do you want for Christmas? They don't say, oh, I don't know. You know, they go, here. They hand you a list. You know, kids have no problem dreaming. They know what they want. My favorite dream story of all time was opening day of Disney World in Florida. And the reporters were there, and they were talking to Roy Disney, Walt's brother. And the reporter said, "This is amazing. This is an awesome place. This is absolutely fantastic. It's clean, it's safe, it's fascinating. Families are going to come here for years to come, and they're going to totally enjoy it. This is really wonderful." He said, "You know, the only sad thing is that your brother, Walt, did not live to see this." And without missing a beat, Roy Disney looked at the reporter and he said, "Excuse me, Walt saw it first. That's why you're seeing it today." Disney was a dreamer. Martin Luther King was a dreamer. Kennedy was a dreamer. Anita Roddick, a woman in England, decided that she wanted to make good skincare products and help third world countries in the environment, and created a little business called The Body Shop. And it went from a little store to being in every mall in the world. Jim Carrey, the actor, was a dreamer. Carrey couldn't get arrested as an actor. He was totally unemployed, walking around trying to make enough money to feed himself, and he had a check in his wallet. He wrote on the check, "Pay to the order of James Carrey, $7 million for professional services," and he folded it up and put it in his wallet. And I don't think it's a coincidence that one of his first movies, he was paid $7 million for the part. He knew it. He was a dreamer. He held hard to the vision. And there's a section in your handout that says in your journal, write 101 dreams. This is an exercise that I learned from Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. Think about what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to have, what you want to share, and see if you can get to 101. I challenge you to do this. It's quite an exercise. I've done it. Right now I'm back. I'm doing it again. I'm back to about 80, 85. You know, the first 10 or 20 are pretty simple. It's like when people win the lottery, they say, "Well, what are you going to do now that you won $320 million? And the people say, "Well, I'm going to pay off my bills." That's cool. Now you have $319,960,000 left. What are you going to do? If you don't have any idea what to do with it, what are you going to do when it shows up? If you want to have $1 million, start thinking about ways you could use it. What would you do with it? But you want to identify the things you want to do. I did this a few years ago. My wife and I started something we call a looking forward to list. We basically just write down things we want to do. I want to see this movie or that movie, go here, go there. It's totally amazing how many more things we have done since we just started writing down what we'd want to do. It just gives you some references. It helps you to focus your mind. Whatever you want will show up. Whatever you put your attention on will show up in your life. So here's the big question. After you do the 101 or 20 or whatever you want to do, the aha question is, what's stopping you from having it right now? There's only one thing standing in your way. There's only one thing stopping anyone here from having everything they absolutely want to have. It's your beliefs. That's all it is. It's your beliefs about whether or not you can do something. It's not real, it's a belief. Beliefs are not real. Don't confuse beliefs with reality. You know, I can do a mixed audience. I can say how many people think women are good drivers, and all the women raise their hands and a couple of brave men. And then how many people think women are lousy drivers, and maybe one brave guy in the back will sneak his hand up and nobody's looking. The reality is I can statistically prove both sides of that. You can go out there right now and find women that are driving brilliantly. And you can go out there right now and you can find somebody with a bagel in one hand and a cell phone in the other hand driving a 40-foot SUV at 80 miles an hour in the right-hand lane. Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find. So your beliefs are just that. They're getting in your way because somebody told you something in the third grade and you keep it and you carry it around for the rest of your life. And I was told I can't sing. I don't sing because I believed it when it was told to me. I was told I can't draw. Fortunately, nobody told me I can't write, so I just go ahead and write. And it's the bumblebee. The bumblebee can't fly. Aerodynamically, the bumblebee cannot fly. It's impossible. Its body is too big, its wings are too small. Yet the bumblebee goes out there zipping around. You know why? He can't read either. He doesn't know he can't fly. Nobody told him. I had that demonstrated to me a number of years ago. I was working in broadcast television. And I went to work one night. We were doing a New York Knicks game. And I saw a lot of trucks parked out on 33rd Street outside the Garden. And I went in and I grabbed somebody. I said, "What's going on? There's trucks all over the place out here." They said, "Oh, the circus is moving into town." I said, "Wow, the circus. This is cool." Because here I am, an employee in the place. I can go wherever I want. So I'm going to go backstage at the circus. How many times do you have a chance to do that? It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm walking along and I noticed that all these elephants are being held in place with a little rope tied to a stake that's in the ground. Two problems with that. Number one, the rope is way too small to hold an elephant. And number two, the stake's not going anywhere because this is on the 5th floor of Madison Square Garden. There's no dirt. The only dirt there is what they put down. Under the 2 inches of dirt is concrete. The stake's not going into concrete. But the elephants are standing there. I don't understand why this elephant doesn't leave. So I walk over to the trainer and I said, tell me something. Why doesn't the elephant just break the rope, go down the ramp, go up 8th Avenue, go back out the Lincoln Tunnel to wherever he came from? And what the trainer told me, now I am not endorsing this in any way. I'm an animal activist. But here's what happens. They take the elephant when it's a baby and they tie it up with a rope. And the baby elephant is not strong enough to break the rope. The baby elephant pulls on a rope and it doesn't break. And the little elephant pulls the rope again and it still doesn't break. And the little elephant pulls the rope a 3rd time and it doesn't break. So finally he gives up. It's what's called learned helplessness. And the baby elephant grows up conditioned to stand there, even though this rope cannot hold him as an adult. Baby elephant grows up believing there's nothing he can do. So my question to all of you here this morning is, what ropes are holding you? What are your ropes? What are you not doing because you have an old belief that may no longer be true, maybe it was never true, and it's stopping you from being the person that you know you're capable of becoming? And I challenge you to challenge that belief and to do something to change it. And there's a lot of different ways in a lot of different people's books, including mine. And I don't have time to really go into that, but one simple way that works really well is you create a vision of something beyond. Get a mental picture of what you want in your life. Now, Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. Use your imagination. Get a clear picture of what you want your life to be like. And then watch it show up.